Well, having grown up here, I can say that Ohio State has never been like a comeback team.
Right.
Usually, if they get down, especially at home, they stay down. That's going to be, at least Penn State can be part of a legend, because that's going to be a legend around here.
Just like last year's game for Penn State is part of their lore. This game, JT Barrett's legacy game, lots of speed on the field, a lot of athletes on the field. I think Ohio State just had more.
Yeah, and I won't mention what was going on.
That's fair.
Well, I finally got one on you.
Yeah.
Now it's about 20 to 1.
Yeah.
But I really had a feeling at 35-20 even, and certainly earlier than that. I guess we said this at 28-10.
Yeah.
You said you thought the game was pretty much
I thought they were cooked.
done, because you didn't think they could score that many points.
Right.
And even if they did, Penn State would score more.
That was
18-point lead. So we had this back and forth the entire night where I kept saying, not over, not over. And I was actually just playing with him early, but I started to really believe it the longer the game went on, because Penn State was losing at scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And it only got worse. It got exacerbated. I came in here thinking they would represent themselves as the better team, and that maybe the bye week would not be enough to keep them from winning the game. I predicted a win, but really, they weren't the better team. Ohio State was the better team.
No, and I think even Penn State fans realized there were some things that occurred in the game that very much went against Ohio State, and it could have easily went the other way.
It's freaky stuff.
And it wouldn't have been a catch them at the finish game. I mean, DeAndre Tompkins makes a tremendous play on a contested catch for a touchdown. Ohio State has an interception in the end zone turned over because of a pass interference call.
A dicey pass interference call.
There
was all sorts of stuff. The Koa Farmer 59-yard kickoff return only happened because Ohio State was offside. Penalties, dropped balls by their wide receivers who didn't play very well, and yet they still won the game. So you could say they were certainly the better team at scrimmage, the better, deeper team by the end of it. And the injuries to Penn State's, especially 52 going
Ryan
down,
Bates,
man, was not good.
Did not help them. They lost Ryan Buchholz early in the game. It might have just affected their pass rush just a little bit. James Franklin kept talking about the fact that you have to be able to get home at some point against these athletes, because they're in space, and it's just a recipe for disaster. The one amazing stat that I wanted to looking at it is, Barkley opened the game with a 97-yard kick return. Dave, he carried 21 times for 44 yards with a long of 36, which means after the touchdown run, which was 36 yards, it was 20 carries for 8 yards. So that really was it, and he was not really a factor in the passing game.
What could he do about it? They couldn't block, they couldn't protect, they couldn't get to the other quarterback, and about the only thing they did successfully is defend the run fairly well. But at scrimmage, they went down. Now, you got a dispirited team. Really got to be a dispirited team. This is going to be the ultimate. And one more thing, people are going to say, "Oh, Penn State blew the game. Joe Moorhead blew the game." No, I mean, they couldn't block, and they couldn't get off the field on defense.
And
it's that
limits what he can do anyway.
Yeah. What are you going to do if you're a coordinator? What were the big plays he could have called by the end when Penn State got the ball? They couldn't block anybody.
I also think you do have to give credit to Ohio State for just keeping coming, and they actually, in a little bit of irony, Dave, they block a kick in the fourth quarter.
That's right.
I mean, that was one of the defining moments last year. There was a punt block and a kick block that they
I don't know that they need that block kick to do what they did, but it certainly didn't hurt. That's right. It accelerated the comeback. So now, getting back to Michigan State, they've got to go to Michigan State, who had their own excruciating loss, 39-31 in triple overtime at Northwestern for their first Big Ten loss. You got two one-loss teams, and really the season's on the line for any shot at a Big Ten inclusion in Indianapolis the rest of the way. I don't think Ohio State is Teflon. I don't think this is a great team. They make a lot of mistakes, and they've got a pretty tough schedule. They got to go to Iowa. They have to play Michigan State here. I don't think this is over by any means. I don't. So they've got to keep their head down at Michigan State, keep about the task, and that's going to be a really rough tough game in East Lansing.
Penn State came up on the right side of the Big Ten game of the year last year.
Yep.
They came up on the wrong side of the Big Ten, by far the Big Ten game of the year this year. The last two losses to Penn, 2 losses by 4 total points. USC by 3, 1 here. I mean, close doesn't count. And I agree with you. Ohio State was definitely the better team, especially that defense just took over the game at scrimmage when they had to, and you got to give him credit. JT Barrett, legacy game,
and that's for
tremendous.
Sure. He never had a game like this before here. That's the way to put it. Legacy game, and a gut punch of a loss. They don't get much worse than that in Ohio Stadium until East Lansing, Michigan next week. Sayonara.